We can get a Weird Wednesday reading today. I've just attempted to do a Weird Wednesday reading and the planes come out again, wanting to talk about the cover-ups around that plane disaster. Okay, to be very honest with you, I'm trying to tap in to get a reading for Weird Wednesday because I missed it last week because of the plane, and then it's come out again here. More plane stuff has come out when I've tried to read, and I'd really like to give you one of your Weird Wednesday rabbit hole readings, but I'm feeling a little drained from it and I just don't know if I should push it any further. Okay, so I'm not going to read on the ascension today because I feel like that's a very deep question. Let's just take a look at the sun, see if there's anything around the suns. Now I know the sun's not related to the plane because the cards just told me that, but let's see if there's anything around. Okay, what I'm getting at now is like celebrities buying bunkers and stuff like that. Is there something sun activity that we need to be concerned of is what I'm asking here. Is there anything around sun activity that we need to be concerned about? Sun changes. Something about a new generation. So when I just pulled the cards in asking what to talk about, it said old generation, new generation, Akashic. This is a record. This is a record of the ages, a record of the generations or the eras is what they're telling me. So they're telling me like the sun goes through cycles, and it's showing me how in the cards before it said like the different eras of man, and it was showing me like an old one, and now they're showing me the new one. So like changing from an old era to a new era related to the sun. A new era, and that can just simply mean like we're coming into a new era of energy, or a new era of, because I always equate sun to energy, or a new era of way that we have to be because of the sun changes is what they're giving me here. So they are showing in past life records or in the Akashic that there has been changes around the sun in the past. End times, revelations, so I'm not sure. Okay, the sun is our life force, so here they're showing me that we're talking about the sun, and they're talking about how the sun is our life force energy. So we get our energy from the sun. They're showing me that there's fracturing in the DNA. So either changes to the DNA could be coming from changes to the sun, or there's some kind of fracturing going on with our DNA is what they're showing me, or our life force energy. Again, they're telling me, talking to me about ages of man, new age of man, and we're talking about fifth dimension. So I feel like this reading is going to lead into that ascension reading, the ascension reading of a fifth dimension. So there's an opportunity to tap into the energy here. So the energy changes from the sun is bringing the opportunity to get downloads. Now this is bringing me back to the ringing in the ears. Where I said, is it download or is it ascension symptoms? Okay, these are starting to join up, these readings. So I feel like there's one more in this series, which will be more about the ascension. This one's saying about somehow connected to the sun, because we're talking about the sun. Changes to the sun brings opportunities for us to, whether that thins the veil or we ascend, have that opportunity of ascension, gives us more of an opportunity to tap into that energy. You can also see this energy is golden like the sun too. So it's like we have that ability to tap into that golden energy or that sun energy and receive downloads, whether that's downloads to our body, to our DNA, which we're seeing DNA here. Maybe this could also be how they say that we're like 2-strand DNA when we should actually be 12-strand DNA, something to that effect. Maybe what they're showing me here is that tapping into this new energy of the sun is going to allow our DNA to repair, or our DNA to this strands to join back up or reconnect or something. So something here is about tapping into that sun energy or that golden solar energy will either bring downloads, it will bring ringing in the ears, it will bring ascension symptoms, it will bring either something going on with the DNA, whether that's repairs to the DNA that hasn't been fully working, or there's going to be damage to the DNA, because this is, you can see with the DNA there's like strands either reforming or breaking apart. Here on this one here it says damage to the DNA, but this could actually be forms of DNA like reforming back together. But it's allowing us to tap into that energy. And where I said there is there ringing in the ears downloads, and I don't think it is. I think we have the opportunity to get downloads and tap into that energy. But it is related to the sun and our life force, and that again is bringing me back to DNA. So that DNA energy. So I do feel like we're coming out of, there's also a contact or reaching out. This is also a little bit like tower-like as well. So EMFs, again, tower-like, but it says contact, reaching out. So that's going maybe a little bit down that alien track as well. So reaching out. If we're just talking about the sun, we're talking about, I don't think we are talking about the sun. So contact, reaching out, maybe they're trying to tap into that sun energy. I don't know, maybe try to harness it in some way. Like I know we have solar power, but it feels to be more than that. It feels like maybe if the sun's having like solar flares or something like that, it's how do we then harness that energy and tap into that energy, because that's what it's saying. It's like it's reaching out, trying to harness that energy as an alternative energy source. Here it says harmonics, or an alternative energy source. So it's about we have to be cautious somehow. This one's Revelations End Times, so being okay. What this is making me think is that it's going to be different. Times are changing, whether that's for the positive or the negative. I'm not feeling negative, but I'm feeling like the opportunity for us to get more life force or DNA. And here's the thing, where we go into that ascension energy, and I talk about the split earths, I'll read on as well, because I've never read on that. So I want to read and look into that as well. And we will go into that in the third part of this series. But what I'm seeing here is trying to harness in on the sun changes. That will, for some people, cause downloads for people that can handle it and tap into it. It will cause either repairs to DNA, to have more strands of DNA, or it will cause further damage to the DNA. So whether that's going to happen simultaneously, or one or the other. So that's what, but I'll read further into that when I read about the split earths and the two earths, because I did actually, one of the cards that came up was the 5D, fifth dimension energy. So I feel like that's coming, that reading's coming. This one we're just talking about the sun and how the sun impacts that. So there is a new age or a new era coming. So there's changes coming. So whether it doesn't have to mean a complete reset. There's no cards here that say complete reset. Well, all I'm getting here is a new era, or a new, it's going to be new. So the sun energy change that's happening, or cycle that's taking place, will be different. It might be stronger, but it says here life force is good for you, so it might be just good for us. And again, it's like tapping into that sun energy. When I put them side by side, tapping into that sun energy and being able to harness that energy as an alternative energy source. So whether that's for our energy problems, or whether that's us on a personal download, kind of tapping into that energy, because it says here fifth dimension, or whether that when we go further into this part of the reading, it's going to take us into the fifth dimension related to the sun, related to either repairs to the DNA or damage to the DNA. That leads us to the next generation, or the new way things will be done. So I'm going to leave that one here. I'm going to leave that here because, I just, every time I try to read a Weird Wednesday, I get plain stuff. So I'm just done a very basic one. And I will follow this up with the third part of this reading when we'll talk about ascension, and we're talking about how they say the new earth, or there's two earths, or it's splitting. Because I've had that come up in some of the readings as well. So we'll go further into that part and join that all together with the ringing in the ears and what the sun's also said here. So hopefully next week we'll get to do another reading. Thank you for joining me.